I don't think it's a responsibility of the community. And this is my answer. It's not just a responsibility of the community. It must be a responsibility of all the society. Otherwise, the memory at all of the tragedies is just on the back of the Jews. We don't need to have a day of the memory. We don't need to have occasion. We don't need even to have, this is my point of view, museum, not for the Jews.
Welcome to What Came After. I'm your host, Manya Marcus. On What Came After, we'll take a look at the many ways that people's lives changed on and after the brutal massacre in Israel on October 7th, 2023. We'll be speaking with people in Israel and around the world about how the devastating attack by Hamas has shifted, shaped, and changed them. To learn more about our podcast, please visit us at whatcameafter.com. It's the 5th of February. I like to say when we are recording because history is moving very quickly. Tell us who you are, tell us where we're sitting, and we'll get started that way.
Good morning, first off, and thank you for the opportunity.
Good morning.
We are in Rome. It's the 5th of February, 2025. And we are close St. Peter, the center of the church in the year of the Jubilee. All the people come here in Rome waiting for a message of peace. Message of peace that we didn't receive at all after the 7th of October 2023. And this is the situation. The situation is that after the date, the anti-Semitism that was already before grows up and become clear for everyone, not just for us. There was already a moment of violence about the Jews, but after the 7th of October, the feeling was loneliness.
Yes, I think that's right.
Loneliness.
I want to ask you something. I read an article where you were interviewed for Vanity Fair just after the 7th of October, and you said the history of anti-Semitism in this country did not give people around the Jewish community the antibodies to fight this virus of anti-Semitism. I wonder if you could say more about that.
From my point of view, it's very clear. Italy is a special country. It is a country in which a Jewish community stays since millennium, 2,000 years. The Jews live in the society, the Jews help, the Jews produce culture, the Jews... We are Italian. We passed also the fascism at the Second World War. As you can imagine, the deportation, as you can imagine, the racist law. But what didn't happen in this country is a kind of responsibility of the country about what happened in the history.
We might call that like a reckoning, yes.
300 years of ghetto. The persecution was something that happened or comes from the special responsibility of the Italians on other citizens just because they were Jews. Not the same of what happened in Germany, for example, after the Second World War, in which there was real, clear taking back what happened during the racism. Here, it's very light. It's not so deep as it's necessary, not for the Jews, but for the society. And what happened after, with the 7th of October, the virus. But it's something even more. The anti-Judaism, of the anti-Semitism, of the anti-Zionism become clear.
But you feel that it was always just under the surface.
I'm sure about it. It's millennium of culture of this anti-Semitism.
So I want to emphasize that you are not the current president of the Jewish community, but you are the former president of the Jewish community in Rome, the first female. I believe.
Yes, I am.
That's really a nice distinction. And to set the scene here, right, we've got the church, we've got the pilgrims in front of us, and on the other side, there are two guys here. Who are they?
This is the security that stay with me all day, because I'm protected by the government, as most of the Jewish leader position, the chief rabbi and some other president of the communities, because just after the terrorist attack in 1982 at the Great Synagogue in Rome, where dies a child of 2 years, Stefano Gaitache, I won't remember his name, it's important to remember. the government decide to protect in a different way. I don't want to say in a better way, but in a different way, the Jewish institutions and the leaders of the community. And this is what is happening till now. Even if I am the former president, I was waiting to be free after the end of my mandate, but with the general situation, it's impossible. I'm very grateful to this government, to the government in Italy in these years, not just this government, but for the attention that they give to the Jews and to us.
So the provision of security for leaders in the Jewish community started after the attack in 1982.
Yes.
We did a tour of it yesterday, and
Yes.
I was blown away by how little I understood about the 300 years that people were really confined to the ghetto, and really how horrible how segregated and how horrible the Pope treated the community. It was all new for me. But I remember thinking that October has been a really bad month for the Jewish community, because it was in October, I believe 1943, that the Jews were rounded up and deported.
Exactly.
It was October 9th of 1982 that this small child, one member of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, quote unquote, attacked the synagogue. And actually, I heard that was on Shemini Atzeret, one day before Simchat Torah.
Exactly.
And of course, October 7th was on Simchat Torah. Is there anything that you want to say about October?
I mean, this you must, I think, ask to our rabbi. What I can say is that the Chag Sukkot for us is Chag.
It's a holiday.
Sukkot is a holiday,
yes.
It's a holiday, yes. And we really believe that this is the priority, is to continue to feel that we are in a holiday period in October, and not to let the terror have the priority on this feeling to be Jew. And so do the holiday as the holiday must be done.
So to make sure there's still joy.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want to transmit the sense of some negative feeling about October. Here we live the situation in which every day can happen something. We know that during Shabbat or during the holidays for our enemies is the moment in which we are more delicate, because we are concentrated to other things. And for us, our way to live is not the war. Our way to live is the peace, is the school, is the education, is the enjoying of the family, is the food in Rome.
Amazing food. Amazing food, yes.
As you know. And I don't think that there is a problem of October. There's a problem of anti-Semitism. There is an historical problem of anti-Semitism. We fight every day with the virus that is in this society. We want to live.
Let me ask you about your personal history in Rome and your journey to becoming the past president of the Roman Jewish community.
Well, it's a common story. In a certain moment of my life, I did lawyer studies. Then I built my family with my husband, and I have a boy and a girl, 28 and 27. And in a certain moment when the children go to the school, I decide to invest sometimes as volunteer for the community. Before in the school, and then I was elected in the board of the community, and I was in charge for 7 years for the school and for the educational program. And then the past president ended his mandate, and it was not possible to elect him more again. And I decided to run. That was the moment to run as president. I was the first woman elected, but I want to be frank, they ran another woman. And this is very first time that happened in the history. This was for me the sense of really included in the society, and can be also example for the external people that even in Orthodox community with the values, with some tradition, with this history can change. I was elected the first time, and then a second mandate in 2019, just few months before the COVID.
Oh, wow. You're shaking your head and looking all around. It was a tough time.
I think that most of the people, they totally forgot what was the COVID for humanity. I have very clear remembers of every moment since the first day when we decide for the first time of the history after the Second World War to close the synagogue for our decision, not for decision of others. Terrible.
That was a hard time for you.
Very hard. Very complicated. A big responsibility.
I think I'm remembering from that same interview that you said something about how children and all of society moving online has made people more susceptible to online fanaticism. Is this something that you recall saying, that because their lives were online, that suddenly they were
It is.
Vulnerable?
This is what is happening. And after the COVID, even worse than before. I mean, most of the information that the young generation takes about what happened in the world comes from from internet, from the websites, for what they call information. That's not information. That are more propaganda. It's not what we want to teach to our young, this I think. And what's happened after the 7th of October is the proof that I was right even before. But we had the first alarm during the COVID. Because if you remember, during the COVID, we had a wave of anti-Semitism that grows up very fast.
No, I have no idea about this.
You have
Tell
no
me.
idea? Yes. In the period of the COVID, we had racist anti-Semitism in internet very, very, very strong. The Jews were responsible for the virus. Jews were responsible for the vaccines. The Jews were responsible for everything. And when you put the point or you arrive to a level, it's very difficult to
Push
go
it back
down.
down, yes.
That the level can be passed very fast.
So one of the things that I read about you, and you'll have to tell me if it's true, is that when you were the president, you really had a big focus on education.
Yes.
We always think that education is the cure for losing memory, right?
Yes, I received the Italian president 2 times. He came in the synagogue 2 times. First time was with the school. I decided the first meeting with our president in my mandate and in his mandate as well, it was necessary to dedicate to the education, to the young, for 2 different reasons. In a way, because we produce education. We have Jewish school, we have Jewish children that they learn not just about Judaism or the history or religion, I don't know what, but they learn to be citizen in this country. And we grow up with great respect of the friends, of the neighbors, of everyone, of the police that's in front of the school as well. And the second reason was also because I really believe, perhaps more before the 7th of October and a little bit less now, that the only way to fight anti-Semitism is education. Now, I'm not so sure. I think that it's very important also the law, and we have law. And we must do our best as country and as Jewish community to do all the things that are necessary to do. Priority to the education, but then also to apply the law in the moment in which it's necessary to do.
So you're a lawyer. It makes sense that you would have that perspective. I think it makes sense in general.
But I think also the president was, I hear the speech that he did in the 27th of January for the Memory Day.
The memorial of the liberation of Auschwitz.
Exactly. And he spoke about this also, this legal approach. We cannot forget that we have law, and the people who stays not in the line of the law, they must pay for.
What kind of law did you practice before you were the president of the Jewish community?
Oh, I never protest law.
Ah, okay.
I decide never to protect law. I love the law. I think that in the rule, we do the best.
When we have structure and regulations.
Exactly. But I decide never to practice as a lawyer. Too complicated for me. I like the politics.
What do you do now? What is your role now?
I rest.
Oh, good.
No, I rest and I'm studying. I decide to invest the time that I have to my family first. I'm very grateful to my family because I lost a lot of time.
Yes.
And I lost a lot of time with them. And now, so I'm dedicating my time to my family, and I'm studying.
I think it's very hard when you're a leader to be, you're shared between your community and your
Ah,
family. Maybe you can speak about that as a mother and a wife. How
very hard.
was that for you?
It was, as you can imagine, 24 hours with the mobile open and with traveling, and jealous my family of the other people who I need to pay attention. Other 15,000 of people, no one or two, 15,000 and even more in some case, because the president of the Jewish community has a role also in the society. And for this reason, I'm very grateful to my children and to my husband and to my mother and to all the people.
The whole
that,
village.
Yes, the whole village, the whole village. And now I think that it's important that I give them back what they gave before to me.
Before you were the president of the community, did you ever do interviews or photograph? I mean, you were very public. It's not just a role like behind the scenes. It's a very public role.
No, I didn't before, but also in this case, I studied. I studied a lot. I don't think that you can arrive in a role and think that everything is easy. You must study to do your best. I studied a lot, and I try to do my best to represent in the best way the community.
So you studied leadership. What else did you study?
I studied leadership. I studied communication. I studied also the way to be in front of a camera. Also the way to speak, not in English. And I'm sorry for my English.
You're doing
but
great.
better in Italian. I hope the next time. And to be television and even in Congress or in public speaking. This is what I did. And my recommendation for who want to run for a position is to study before. Because we have as Jews really big responsibility. One Jews is all Am Israel, all the Jewish people. The moment in which we speak for our community or we speak even like single Jews, we must do our best.
There are a lot of Jews who are very visible.
Sure,
across the world.
Yes.
And yet we are such a tiny, tiny fraction. And so I think, do you know this concept of Kiddush Hashem versus Chilul Hashem? Could you explain them?
It's very simple. I mean, this was what I said before. Kiddush Hashem is to transmit the sense of the richness of the Judaism. And Chilul Hashem is to transmit the sense of the negative. So we have a responsibility to do the best to let the Jews be perceived as what they really are. A people with a long tradition, a people that respect the law, a people that respect the Torah, the Shabbat, or the holidays if you want. But even single people with single histories connected by this thing more. So the Kiddush Hashem, I think, is the most important mitzvah, precept, law that we must do in the world.
Sounds like it's important to you to not focus on the tragedy, but instead focus on the joy and the future and the responsibility.
Yes.
But
that tragedies.
I'm going to ask you a question that has two parts. The first is that I went into the Shoah Museum in the Jewish Quarter, and it was the most powerful experience of a Shoah museum that I've had. And I've been to Yad Vashem and I've been to the one in DC. It was free to get in. I thought, they want this to be something that everyone can see. What is the community doing to make sure that everybody remembers the difficult part of our history?
I don't think it's a responsibility of the community. And this is my answer. It's not just a responsibility of the community. It must be a responsibility of all the society. Otherwise, the memory at all of the tragedies is just on the back of the Jews. We don't need to have a day of the memory. We don't need to have occasion. We don't need even to have, this is my point of view, museum, not for the Jews.
It's for other people.
My grandfather is in Auschwitz, died in Auschwitz. I know. The father of my mother, I know. My daughter, my son, they knows where the grandparent was. So it's not necessary for this. And it's not necessary also because we are not just the victims. Jews are not victims. Jews are men, women, children that want to live in peace. They want to work. They want to do whatever with respect. That's all. So what I think, I think that's not on the community, but the community has the responsibility to control and to check that the message about the Shoah or about the tragedies is a correct messages. Because, you know, it's very easy to change the sense of what happened. Even few words they can change. At the moment, what we hear, for example, we see young people, they in demonstration speaking about genocide that they don't even know what's about. It's terrible in a sense because you use a word from the Shoah against the Jews and against Israel, and in another sense, you don't have any respect for what the genocide really was. It's terrible. For this reason, the Jews they must also be partner in debate and transmit the sense of the violence or some wrong message they can pass on.
What you're saying reminds me of something that I read in this interview, and I encourage people to read it because even in Google Translate, it was really lovely. I think she asked you about anti-Semitism, and you said, "Don't ask the Jews."
But not
about
at all, never.
Why?
If you ask me about the anti-Semitism, what I can tell you? But what I can
You're not
tell
an
you,
expert.
I'm not an expert.
Yeah, you're not the problem.
No, I'm not an expert. Ask to the other people why they are anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. Ask to the other people why in the school they don't produce programs to teach what is anti-Semitism, not to teach what is the Shoah, to teach what are the Jews.
I thought that was very bold. The way that you said that, I really appreciated it. I've never heard another Jewish leader say, "Don't ask me that question. Ask the anti-Semites."
Don't ask me, please. This is what happened often in the interviews. People ask me about this, and I say, "Why you ask me? Can I ask to you? You don't have to ask me." I mean, even in countries in which there are no Jews, there is anti-Semitism.
Yes. It's fascinating.
So, this is the question.
Terrifying. Yes.
That's terrifying. Don't ask me, please.
Yeah.
Ask me, please, why I remain in this country. I love this country. This is my country.
Okay, that's what I want to ask you.
Yes.
I want to ask you, well, I want to ask you lots of things, but I want to ask you,
No.
is it important that there are Jews in Italy?
It is important that there are Jews everywhere. We know very well that to be in Israel is the right way, but it's such important to be diaspora or to stay in the Gola. The relation between us and Israel can produce a good sense of what we are and can improve also Israel in this moment. It's necessary to be in different position. The diaspora has a long history. The Jews, they passed more than half of our life as people out of Israel. Then, thanks to God, we have now, after 1948, a Jewish state, and we have Israel, and we are very proud of it. We are very Zionists. We love, we respect, we dream to go. But it's also very important to have a voice here in Italy, not just in Italy, but even in France, in Germany, in Poland, I don't know where. And I think it's important not for the Jews just, but also for democracy in which we live. Because the presence of a Jew country is the sense of democracy. We are the example of the diversity. We are the most diverse people in the history. In a country that call him democracy, a country without Jews, what is? It's something different. So I really believe that together, and I discuss also in Israel about the role of the diaspora. I feel that together is better.
Is Aliyah moving to Israel? Do you feel that that's a bit of a threat to the community? Like a lot of people want to leave, or?
Yes, there are people that want to leave. We have dates about the leaving of the people to Israel, young, old families, and something like. What I can tell you about is that the numbers are more or less the same in Italy, not as in France or in other country, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that there are different reasons for the Aliyah at social level, religious level, and economical level. For me, the only reason to go in Israel is a religious one.
Mm-hmm.
What I really believe is that we don't have to go in Israel because we are afraid about the situation here.
The Aliyah rates are about the same before October 7th as they are now?
Yes, more or less. We have some waves. More or less, this is the statistic that I have.
Does it feel like a lot of young people are leaving?
Yes, but also for the young people, for example, they go to study first. Because as you can imagine, the opportunity that Israel give to a young in terms of studies and in terms of education is surely different. If you visit a college in Israel, it's totally different from what you find here. And so this is an opportunity. But then I must also think for the leadership of the community in the next 20 years. This is something that's not so easy to hear. But if we really believe together that the diaspora is an opportunity, we must also grow up a leadership for this community. Otherwise, in the next 20, 40, 50 years, the Jewish community will be still here also.
So I remember there was a rabbi in 2015 in Belgium who said there is no future, for Jews in Europe. Sounds like you would definitely disagree with that. But do you feel like there are opportunities for young people to find each other, to marry? Are there enough Jews?
Never enough.
Okay. We need to
Never
have
enough.
more.
But for example, my father, Baruch Hashem, Zichrono Livracha, every time we discuss when I was young about marriage or boyfriend or something like, and it was very clear, must be Jew, the phrase that he told to me and my sister was, remember, there is not just Rome as place to find a Jew. This is a big opportunity.
Where did you find your husband?
And me and in Rome, for sure. Me and my sister.
Both of you found
Both
Roman
of you.
Jews. Very nice.
Think positive.
You have such a vibrant approach in this time to what faces us and what comes next. Is there anything else that you want to share with people about the particular Roman experience, Roman spirit right now?
I think now we spoke really about many, many things, and I thank you for the opportunity. Never lost the speranza.
I think it means like the spirit, the ruach.
The ruach. We are in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
We are right.
Mm-hmm.
We must fight. We must be strong. We must have the proudness. We must be proud about what we are. We can discuss inside. But then outside, proud about what we are. This is the history, but this is also the present, and this will be the future. And as second recommendation, please come to visit Rome. It's an amazing community, full of nice things. Here you have Jews from the historical side, from the present, and also the right approach for the future. I love a lot my community. I love a lot Rome. I love a lot what I'm doing. And if I can, I will continue to do what I'm doing.
Okay, I just have one last question.
Oh, last is the best.
You have these lovely, lovely men over here guarding you all the time. Do you ever feel unsafe?
Never.
Do you think you would feel unsafe if they disappeared?
Yes.
You would? You would?
Yes. I mean, I want to be frank. For sure, that's not a good period for us. Okay? But I think that comes from us inside. This sense of security. I know very well that something can happen in minutes, but I don't want to transmit to others because I am secure about what I am. And so, as I said before, if will happen, okay. But I never keep myself in a side. Never. My son has the kippah al rosh, my husband has tzitzit and talit katan. My daughter, she has a big menorah in front. I have mine every time. No. If we become afraid about what we are and where we are, better to go away.
Ruth, I really want to thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a really wonderful conversation, and you are, what we say in English, a formidable woman. So thank you.
Too much.
You're busy, and I really appreciate the time.
Thank you very much again, and see you soon. Arrivederci.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe to What Came After wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us online at whatcameafter.com.
הפרחים. אל תביטו לאחור, הניחו להולכים. שאו עיניים בתקווה, לא דרך כוונות. שירו שיר לאהבה ולא למלחמות. אל תגידו יום יבוא, הביאו את היום, כי לא חלום הוא בכל הכיכרות, הריעו רק שלום. לכן רק שירו, שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה. רק תשירו, שיר השלום, יצא הקנדורה. תנו לשמש לעלות, לבקר להאיר. שבתפילות אותנו לא תחזיר. אל תגידו יום יבוא, הביאו את היום. ובכל הכיכרות הריעו רק שלום. לכן רק שירו, שיר השלום, אל ילחשו תפילה. רק תשירו, שיר השלום, בצעקת גדולה. שירו, שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה. תשירו, שיר השלום, בצעקת גדולה. שירו, שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה. תשירו, שיר השלום, בצעקת גדולה. שירו, שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה. מוטב לשיר